Welcome back to the program. Let's continue a topic, meaningful questions to gauge employees' happiness. So this is the part 2. In the last module, we explored a simple truth. Happy employees build thriving companies. We saw how powerful it is to ask the right questions, to keep communication open, transparent, and meaningful. We also looked at how clean, well-maintained facility and the opportunity for employees to share process improvements can make a big difference. But the journey to employees' happiness doesn't stop there. In the next part, we will dive deeper, We will learn even more questions you can ask, not just to check the mood, but to truly understand what drives satisfaction, loyalty, and long-term engagement. Because when employees feel heard, seen, and valued, they don't just show up, they shine. So let's keep going. As usual, I will start with a quote of Dr. Kenneth Blanchard. He once said, "Connect the dots between individual roles and the goals of the organization. When people see the connection, they get a lot of energy out of work. They feel the importance, dignity, and meaning in their job." So let's pause for a moment and think about that quote, Imagine showing up to work each day, not just to complete tasks, but knowing exactly how your efforts push the whole organization forward. That kind of clarity turns routine work into purposeful work. It energizes people. It reminds them I matter. What I do here counts. So as a leader, your job is to draw those lines, to help every employee, whether they are in the front office or the back warehouse, see how their daily role connects to the company's larger mission. And when they do, that's when real engagement begins. So let's start with a question. What makes you productive? As a supervisor, we often find ourselves searching for the golden ticket to boost productivity. We brainstorm, hold meetings, maybe even bring in consultants to analyze the workflow. And while outside input can be helpful, it can also be costly, and sometimes unnecessary. Because the best insights, they often come from the people already doing the work. Your employees are the greatest assets. They know what drives them, what slows them down, and what helps them perform at their best. So why not ask the simple and powerful question? What makes you feel most productive at work? You might be surprised by the ideas they come up with. Simple changes, process tweaks, or motivational boosts that make a big difference. Giving them a voice not only increases productivity, but also shows you value their input. That's a win-win, So before you call in a consultant, take a moment to talk to your team. The answer might be closer and more affordable than you think. We all well know recognition matters. It's one of the most powerful tools you have as a leader. When employees feel genuinely recognized, they are not just happier, they are more engaged, more committed, and more productive. And when that happens, the whole company wins. But there is a thing, recognition doesn't always have to be a grand gesture. Sometimes a simple thank you or a quick acknowledgement of a job well done can go a long way. So how do you know if your recognition efforts are working? simple. Just ask. You don't need a fancy survey or a complicated system. Start by asking your team directly. Do you feel recognized for the work you do? Most employees will be honest with you. If they feel unseen, they will tell you. And if they feel appreciated, they will light up just talking about it. This one question can open the door to meaningful conversations and valuable improvements in your leadership styles. Because at the end of the day, feeling seen and valued is what we all want and what great manager makes sure to deliver. And there's a powerful question every leader should ask to their team. Do you feel like you have opportunities to grow and advance? This is a very powerful question that you may ask to your employee. Most people don't dream of doing the same job forever, We want to learn, we want to stretch and move forward. Whether that means mastering a new skill, taking on more responsibilities, or stepping into a new role entirely. If your employees feel stuck, they will start looking for opportunity somewhere else. So growth can look different for different people. It might be taking on a new project, getting cross-trained in another department, or earning a certificate the company helps pay for, or going back to school with your support, moving up the ladder into a leadership role. So different options for different people. So even small steps can send a big message. We see your potential and we are investing in it. So if you haven't asked your team lately whether they feel they are growing, now is the time. When people see a path forward, they are much more likely to stay engaged, motivated, and loyal. Here's a big one. Do your employees have confidence in their leadership? We often talk about how important it is to give employees feedback. It helps them grow, feel seen, and improve. But the same principle goes both ways, Employees also need a voice when it comes to your leadership. When you ask your team, do you have confidence in me or in our leadership or in our leadership team? You open the door for honest, meaningful improvement. You are not just the boss. You are also someone who's growing, adapting, and learning how to lead better. When people have confidence in their leaders, they feel safe. That sense of security reduces turnover, boosts morale, and increased productivity. In short, when you show up as a best self, your team is more likely to do the same. So don't be afraid to ask. Their feedback is a gift. Use it to become the kind of leader they can believe in. After you have listened all the key points, I want you to look at the story in which Howard is a newer employee at the Honey Tree driving range. From the start, he's enjoying his role, but what really makes it special for him is his boss, Chuck. Chuck makes it a point to check in with Howard regularly, not just about tasks, but about how Howard is feeling in the role. Chuck often asks for his input and value his opinions, which helps Howard feel like a true part of the team. Most recently, Chuck turned the tables and asked Howard how he was doing as a boss. Howard had nothing but good things to say. He shared that he appreciated the consistent feedback and recognition, and was especially grateful for the opportunities Chuck had given him to grow and learn. Thanks to this relationship, Howard feels engaged, supported, and motivated to stay and contribute. So after you listen to Howard's story, you may want to ask yourself two questions. Why do you think Howard feels so engaged and valued at work? Another question, how can leaders like Chuck build trust and confidence in their teams? So as usual, I want you to think about these two questions, and you may want to write down the possible answers you may think of. Of course, I will also share my point of view. So let's look at the first question. Why do you think Howard feels so engaged and valued at work? In my opinion, Howard feels engaged because his boss, Chuck, practices inclusive leadership. He regularly checks in, values Howard's input, gives recognition, and supports his growth. This open two-way communication helps Howard feel respected and important, which naturally boosts engagement. This is my opinion. Second question, how can leaders like Chuck build trust and confidence in their team? In my opinion, leaders can build trust by asking for honest feedback about their own performance, giving frequent recognition and constructive feedback, or providing learning opportunities, or involving employees in decision makings. These actions signal respect and shared ownership, which makes employees feel connected to both their leader and the company's success. So these are the ideas that I have for these two questions. Thank you.